And the majority of GB viewers agree that people arriving in the UK illegally should be removed and blocked from returning. They agree with Suella Braverman's new policy.
Yes, but when asked about whether Rishi Sunak or Keir Starmer can be trusted the most to manage the small boats crisis, 16% say Rishi Sunak, 14% say Keir Starmer, 40% say none of the leaders can be trusted to manage the crisis. Well, let's go over those findings with John Ashmore, editor at CapEx, who joins us in the studio. Morning to you, John.
Good morning.
In one respect, no surprise that the majority of people think this is a good idea in terms of the policy. Doesn't mean it's going to make it any easier to turn it into law.
No, and I think that's the problem, as always with these things. The devil's in the detail. You have so many different things you have to get through. First, there's the actual parliamentary timetable. You've got to get it through the Commons. I think pretty easy. All the Tory MPs are going to back it. But then getting it through the Lords, we have this process of ping-pong. Notwithstanding all the kind of practical issues with the policy itself, people say, well, if you want to send them to Rwanda, the Rwandan asylum system is tiny, so it's not going to take that many people. But I think the key point here is that it's about the so-called pull factors or incentives. So it's about sending a message to people that if you do come to Britain, you know, you won't have an easy time of it. And that, the red carpet will not be laid out for you, basically. Exactly, yeah.
What did you make of what Peter Allen was saying, who seemed sort of a little bit surprised, in a sense, that obviously there will not be an agreement today between about sending people back to France? Now, you can understand the French position on that, but both sides have said that won't happen today. But isn't the argument with this policy that actually it's not about sending them back to France, it's just about sending them to another safe location?
Yeah, I mean, this is another of the kind of practical issues, is that we don't have agreements in place with enough places to do that. I mean, there's different things. It depends what country you're from. As the government has said, we have an agreement with Albania, and a lot of the people coming on small boats are apparently from Albania. There have been surveys of people. But if someone's from Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq, for example, they're very unlikely to send them back because, for the obvious reason that those are extremely dangerous countries and there are various legal hurdles. Again, I imagine a lot of the public won't really care one way or the other about that. But as Peter was saying there, you know, the French essentially face exactly the same problem that we do, with a similar sort of scale. And they haven't found a way to solve it either. So.
And I mean, that's what this polling suggests, that there's no hope, really, in the Conservative or Labour Party to sort this issue. I mean,
that speaks
isn't
to...
high, is it?
No, I mean, it speaks... I've said this a few times on our own site, that I think one of the biggest problems in British politics, aside from any particular policy area, is that the public do not trust the political class at all, whatever party they are, to deliver anything. Feel like they've been led down the garden path too many times. So when we see the podium, you know, the policy is popular, but when you see the podium saying stop the boats, if in 2 years people are still coming in their thousands every month into the country, you know, Rishi Sunak's opponents are just going to show that podium and say...
Yeah, all right, but have we come to a conclusion? Because this is the issue. Was it 2018, I think the figure was 300? And in small boats. Yeah, in small boats. And last year it was 45,000. Yeah. Right, so have we determined what on earth has changed between 2018 and 2022?
No, it's an interesting...
Because that'd be the key, wouldn't it?
I guess it's one of those things that's just sort of snowballed once people realised that this was a way of doing it. I think it's partly we saw the migration crisis in the Mediterranean, where getting to Europe by boat became a big thing, particularly after the war in Syria in particular. You know, there's a huge uptick in migration from various countries, though. But no, I don't think there's one particular reason. It may be that the criminal gangs have got more sophisticated or better. Obviously, Labour's response to all this is, we'll go after the people smugglers. But to me, that doesn't really make sense. You shut down one gang, another one will just spring up, because the incentives, as long as the economic incentives are there, someone will be doing it.